All right. Hello again, Susan. So this is our second part of our conversation about drama in remote teaching. And in this part, we're going to be lucky enough to get some demonstrations from Susan. So over to you.
Thank you. I have a lot of strategies, and in 15 minutes, I'm going to be able to show you a few. So don't go away, please, saying that she didn't do many with us, because I've got 15 minutes. So I hate making excuses, but it's a reality. It's very important, as I said before, to imagine what your students are feeling when they first come into the space, whether it's remote or in the physical space. It's best, of course, if you are in the physical space, as I've already said. But if you are teaching remotely, there are still some things you can change. So first of all, start your lessons with a little bit of breathing. People say, oh, but I don't have time. If you don't have time, you will not teach as well as if you made time. And you don't need much time, just a few minutes at the beginning of the lesson. I have a lot of different breathing exercises. I always have my students standing. It's very important that they stand up, because the problem with doing remote teaching is that everybody is sitting on their bottom. And research shows us that, I've written a poem about it, the longer you sit on your bum, the more brain dead you become. Your bum goes numb and your brain goes dumb. And then you can't think of anything to say, because your brain has turned into a cabbage. So get them up off their seats, get some oxygen to their heads, get their muscles moving. The muscles have memory, and they will remember vocabulary better. They will remember all kinds of things better, expressions, semantics, intonation, drill. They will remember everything better if you get them moving with it. So put your hands on your abdomen and teach all the students to do this. Teach them to have their feet about the same width as their shoulders. So their feet aren't together, because that doesn't give you much balance certainty. What you need is your legs slightly apart and your shoulders down. Don't do this when you're breathing, because that contracts your ribs and you can't breathe properly. So teach your students how to breathe properly, and do it at the beginning of every lesson. I have lots of different breathing exercises, but I'm just going to do one with you today. So hands on your abdomen. Make sure that you breathe right the way down into your abdomen. We call it belly breathing, because we breathe into our belly right down here, not just to here. This is shallow breathing. And this creates those horrible piercing voices that many people use. And when you do shallow breathing, you feel nervous. When you do belly breathing, you actually feel yourself calming down. So let's get rid of the anxiety that your students feel at the beginning of English lessons. In general, not all, but in general. So I want you to breathe in to 4 and out to 4. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay, ready. Standing relaxed if possible. Ready. And in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Great, Sarana, you're joining in with me. That made me feel much better. Wonderful. Do you feel good now?
Yes, it feels great.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does, certainly.
You can do other movement exercises as well, but I'm going to do some of those in a minute. Let's just extend this breathing for a moment. When you breathe in this time to 4, I want you to choose a vowel. I want you to put your microphone on, and I want you to exhale on the vowel. So as you're exhaling, I want you to say, or oh, or ooh. Okay? You can't do it because it's not a long vowel. You could only do it.
Okay.
That's harder. That's a bit harder. So choose an easy vowel that you can exhale on. And keep it going for as long as you can. Okay? Ready, and in, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. Okay, counting, right? And some of your students will really enjoy that. And some of the maybe weak ones who are good sportsmen or sportswomen will be able to breathe out for a long time, and that'll give them self-esteem and they're doing something good. So that's a very simple exercise. And then often I do a little bit of stretching. So I want you to breathe in again to 4, and I want you to bring your hands over your head and stretch this part. Okay, so we'll do that once that side and once the other side. Okay, ready? In, 2, 3, 4, stretch, out, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hands on your belly again. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2. Okay, good. I've got lots and lots of different stretching exercises which change the whole dynamic of the meeting. It gets people going. We call this a check-in. It's a way to check the students into the classroom, make them feel better right from the very beginning. You can do anything, really. Another exercise is to do a check-in with the students in terms of using the language and using what they know about themselves. It's nothing that they have to remember. That's the great thing about this kind of work. They often don't have to remember very much, but they use the language unwittingly to tell you things that they already know. So it reduces the anxiety level. In this exercise, game, task, whatever you want to call it, check-in, I make statements and I ask the students to go up to the camera if it's true for them, smile into the camera as close as they can and say, "That's me." And then I ask them to go back and I make another statement, and if it's not true for them, they say, "Not me," and they go off camera completely, and then they come back, you hope. So let's try it. I'm going to speak for me, obviously, because I'm the only one here at the moment. So, you love going to the beach for your holidays. Not me. Almost everybody else will have run up to the camera on that one. Your favorite color is purple. That's me. You love cats. That's me. Your favorite class in the whole week is your remote English language class. Not me. They'll be undivided on that one, I think. I don't know. Okay, so that's another exercise. All of these exercises use what I call the spice of English language teaching. This is my personal pedagogy. SPICE stands for a number of things, but I'm going to show you how to learn what it stands for by doing a multisensory activity. And this is what we have to do with the students. Multisensory and including movement and voice and the muscle memory. And we have to make sure that we include as many of the senses as we can. You're going to tell me, or you're going to think, what senses I am using in doing the spice with you in this way. Okay, so I hope you play along with me, and I hope you'll do it with me. We're going to do the S first. And we're going to say with our microphones on, so that it's going to be a mess, but it doesn't matter. The point is that we are doing multisensory so that it goes into the long-term memory. It doesn't just stay in the short-term memory. So we're not going to teach the students the spice. I'm doing this as an example, but we are going to teach the students using this exercise for different things. You can think of that yourselves when I finish. So we're going to say, so we're using our voices, we're using our sounds, and we're going to take our hard work pointing finger and we're going to make a big air streaming S from the ceiling to the floor. And we're going to keep saying all the time, and we're going to look at the nail on our finger, in our pointing finger, and we're going to see the written in the air by looking at it. And then we're going to do that with all the other letters as well. Okay, and I'll tell you what they stand for and how it will improve your meetings, your classes, your lessons, your remote teaching. Okay, pointing finger up to the ceiling, please. Hard work, pointing finger, nothing like this down here. Hard work one. Pointing up to the ceiling, and we're going to say, ready, steady, go. I hope you followed your finger so that you could see the S drawn in the air. The S stands for social development. You must have your students working in groups, even though you are remote teaching. You must put them in breakout rooms. You must teach them how to behave in breakout rooms, and they must have a task which they bring back to the main gallery. Or if you've got them all in the classroom, you can get them into pairs or groups. And I believe that sometimes you have another teacher there in the classroom with them, so she will help you. But we must teach our students how to get on with other people. This is social emotional learning, and we must never ever forget to do it. If we don't teach our students, we're not doing 21st century skills with them. When they go out to work, they will spend most of their days in groups, working with other people. We must teach them this, it's imperative. Now we're going to do the P, and we're going to say a nice plosive P, P, P. Ready, hard work, pointing finger, looking at your nail, and we go. Ready, steady, go. P, 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 P. P with the P for physical development. We must have them moving to get that oxygen to the brain, to stop the brain going dead. We must have fun in our classrooms. Babies were born to move. And what do we say at school? Sit down, sit still, be quiet. That's not what we want in the English language classroom at all, even on video conferencing. So P for physical development. Remember, S for social, P for physical. Now we're going to do the I, and we're going to say if. Ready? Looking at your nail, and if. I for intellectual development. Everything must be based on Bloom's taxonomy of thinking skills. So much work goes on in classrooms all around the world that is not challenging enough. And what happens then is that students get bored. And they will not be engaged if they are bored. We have got to compete with all the mobile phones, all the screens around us. We have to compete with it in some way. So we have to be original, we have to be different, we have to change, we have to transform. So S, social development, P, physical development, I, intellectual development. And in intellectual development, I include the arts. We must have artistic work within our English language teaching. Otherwise, it is too bare. It is inhuman and too mathematical. So we must have it in there. Now I'm going to do the C, and we're going to say K, K. Ready? Pointing finger up to the ceiling, and ready, steady, go. K, 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 K. C for creativity. We have to teach the English language in some creative way. You can do teaching through art. You can do teaching through theatre. You can do teaching through drama. You can do teaching through movement and dance. Teaching through photography. You can do whatever you like, but bring the arts into it so that you're dealing with the arts from I to C in a creative way. And this will improve your lessons enormously. And now we're going to do E, and we're going to say E, E, E. Ready? Hard work, pointing finger, and look at your fingernail, and we're going to do E, 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 E. E for emotional development. This is how we have people learning to be empathetic. If we don't do emotional development, if we hide it all under the rug, our system will not work. We have to teach people to be sociable. And then when they are sociable, we have to teach them to control their own emotions and to understand other people's emotions. So there you have the spice. Now think of how you can use air streaming in the classroom to connect visual learning, because you're looking at your nail, with auditory learning. You're saying the sound and you're hearing the sound, and kinesthetic learning. You're doing a movement, and that always helps it stick. Let us get stickability into our remote teaching. So think about what you can use air streaming for, and use it with your students to revise, to remember spellings, to remember vocabulary. You could do some air spelling in the air, and they could tell you what word it is from last week, from last month, Whatever you want, you can do air streaming for anything. Now I want to remind you of the spice and of multi-sensory teaching. Put those two together and you have a powerful bag of things to make your lessons more dynamic. Remember also the way to change your voice. So we stand up again and we remember to breathe into our bellies all the time we're doing these exercises. And I want you to join in with me. This is one I do with the teachers and with the students. This is not teaching them what the spice means, because that's a whole concept. This is actually teaching them how to change their voices in the ways that I said in our conversation. So we're going to repeat after me, please. Zigga zaga, zigga zaga, oi, oi, oi. Zigga zaga, oi, oi, oi. This comes from a football opera, which I read 50 years ago when I was at university. It was excellent, but it gave me an idea for an educational drama exercise. So I'm going to be the conductor of our orchestra that we're going to make, or our choir, if you like, that we're going to make in our meeting today remotely. If I do this, I mean shout it. If I do this, I mean whisper it. If I do this, I mean go fast. If I do this, I mean go slowly. If I do this, I mean speak in a little baby's voice. And if I do this, I mean speak in a giant's voice. So you can have the students making up a new chant. So instead of using zigga zaga, oi, 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 you can make up a chant to go with the novel you're reading, or the reader you're reading, or the song you've been doing, or the poem you've been looking at, or a grammar point you've been looking at. That could be very exciting. And then the students make it up in pairs or in breakout rooms, and then they teach it to everybody else. And they can even make up different signs for the 6 ways of changing your voice. Remember, it's pitch, low, or pace, fast and slow, or it's volume, loud, soft. Okay, so there's those 6 ways of conducting our choir. So I'm going to do it 3 times normal, and then I'm going to start giving you the signs, and so you have to change it. As I'm doing the signs, I won't be doing this anymore. So now you're left to your own devices. Okay, so we do it together 3 times, and then I start doing the signs. Okay, ready, steady, go. Zigga zaga, oi, oi, oi. Zigga zaga, oi, oi, oi. Zigga zaga. To doing low, etc., etc. And as I said, you can get your students to do chants with what you're doing in class. So you reminding them and helping them to remember. Now, I don't know if that's enough for today, because I think I've already gone over time. So I think I better stop. I've got a lot of props here, and I was going to do some other things with you, but if you can use realia when you're on the screen, it's much better. This is my wand, and this is my witch's hat. And I put my witch's hat on. You can see it there. and I use my wand, and I have all sorts of exercises that I do with my wand. And then I have a ball, and I use the ball to throw to different people in the classroom to ask them questions. So just direct it to them and they catch it. It can be imaginary from their end, it doesn't matter, but they catch it and then they answer your question, and then they make a question to somebody else in the room. They say their name and they throw the ball to them. Sometimes they throw the ball down, sometimes they throw the ball up, doesn't matter, but we all know what it's about. And then I have a gift. And I ask, who wants to have a gift today? Nobody knows what's inside here, do you? So using the imagination, this is all part of creativity. So somebody says, I want the box, I want the gift. So you say, okay, here's the gift. Unwrap it. Tell us what color the wrapping paper is. What do you think's inside it? Shake it. Shake it by your ear. Listen to it. Can you hear anything in there? Smell it. Can you smell something in there? Look how big the box is, or how small the box is. Is it a big present or a little present? Can you feel something moving in there? Okay. Open it and tell us what's inside the box. Oh, it's just what I wanted. Oh, it's a beautiful white kitten. Oh, it's crying. Maybe it's hungry. Okay. All sorts of little activities like that, which will help you to engage your students. I have about 200 more. Okay, Sarana. You're smiling.
Yes, I love those. I'd love to try them out myself, and I love to hear all the other 200. I think we should have a series with you.
You'd have to join Shelter if you wanted to know the other 200.
Okay, I'll think about it then. Thank you so much, Susan. This has been so enriching and so useful. I'm sure that many teachers will take advantage of all of the things that you've shared with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope they will, and I hope they will have more dynamic lessons because of what they've learned. And I hope they will think about looking for brain breaks on internet, mindfulness on internet, drama exercises. I don't use scripts. A lot of people think I use scripts, but I don't. But if you just look it up on internet, you can get hundreds of exercises to try out, or you can come to Shelter. Okay, thank you very much indeed. I'll say bye-bye for now.
Goodbye, Susan. Talk to you very soon for more.
Bye-bye.